trying to sway you cause I ain't got all the answers. I'm just trying to convey to you, I be taking some chances. If my shit don't pertain to you, you can check out your man shit. You ain't teach us a damn thing, you ain't give us the game. We was giving you signals, but you ain't give us a...
Hi, welcome to another episode of I Don't Have the Answers, but let's talk about it anyway. I'm your host, Tim, the Answer Man 4, and I want to thank you very much for showing up this week. So we've made it. It's the last day of the month. I want you all to take a deep breath, let it out, and hopefully you're sitting down for this next part because it's kind of important. Wanted to let you know, just in case you weren't aware, there are 11 more months this year. We're not done yet. So buckle up, sit back, and we're going to talk about a new topic this week. This week we're going to go over goals. And some goals that I recommend that you work on this year. And I wanted to talk about why I think that goals are important. I think, for me at least, that goals help you to focus your energy. I mean, we can all just continue moving along like we do every day, doing the same thing with no end in sight and no plan. But that's going to get monotonous, that's going to get boring, and it could very well affect you on an emotional and physical level as you continue to do the same thing with no direction. So I like to set goals, short-term and long-term, and keep track of them so that I know where I'm at in the cycle and if I'm still on track, because you never know. Sometimes, as I said before, while you're acting on your goals and you're taking all the right steps, you have to reevaluate to determine if the goals are still right for you. So I think it's very important that we lay out our plans for the year and do our best to adhere to them so that we can be successful. I know personally, I think that I'm great at planning and setting goals and doing all the preliminary work. My wife could be the first one to attest that my follow-through might not exactly be the best sometimes, but I'm excellent at setting goals and planning things because I tend to overthink things and it's required. Well, maybe not overthink things. But anyway, let's talk about a few different types of goals that I think are a good idea for everyone. First of all, there are 3 basic types that I recommend looking into, depending on where you want to stay and what type of focus you want to stay with. There are work goals or career goals. There are student goals if you're a student. And there are personal goals. There's also relationship goals and stuff like that. But I think those 3 are a good starting point. So we spend, on average, a third of our life during the week at work. Sometimes more than that. And it's important to have goals, especially as it relates to your job, so that you can see yourself progressing. If not, then you're just going in, punching the clock, and just repeating the same process over and over again with no end in sight and no goal. So I think it's important to lay out where you want to be, what you want to do, and have a strategy to get that. One of the goals that I think it's a good idea for this year, if you're not already doing this, is to show up early. Showing up early to work is not exactly the easiest thing if you're not accustomed to doing it. But if you can, that gives you that extra little bit of time to prepare, to get ready for the day, and to establish the right mindset. And also lets your coworkers and your leadership know that you're ready to work and you're there and you're dedicated to doing it on a timely fashion. It sets the right tone, in my opinion. Another goal for your career goals are to speak up. Speak up just a little bit more. if you're at a meeting, and we've all been there, where the person leading the meeting asks a question, and they just generally throw it out to everyone, and then all of a sudden you hear nothing, or crickets, and that uncomfortable silence, that awkward pause, and then somebody says something just to make it so it's not awkward anymore. But then you realize that they're not really adding anything to the conversation. They're just saying something to fill up the space and the time. So I recommend setting a goal to speak up a little bit more. To kind of, again, let your boss know that you're paying attention. Let them know that you're there and you're paying attention and you're willing to work. And share your thoughts. There's absolutely no downside to speaking up, unless, of course, what you're going to say is not productive. In those circumstances, I like to say, read the room. If you want to joke around and be that guy, make sure you read the room and you're doing it appropriately. The third career goal is to be a team player. Now, it's not exactly easy, and now that we've got a lot of people that are working from home, but offer your assistance and step up and be there when you can. Let your coworkers know that you're not just clicking the buttons and kicking the can down the road. You're actually there to help. And by offering your assistance and being the go-to guy, you become a resource that people look up to, and it can do wonders. It can help you with the next step in your goals. Now, this next one, student goals, I really, really hope that my college-age son is paying attention to this part. I think it's a good idea to reduce procrastination. Set a goal to do your best to stop procrastinating. I mean, take it from me, the king of all procrastinators. It's a good idea to set that habit aside. Another good idea is to befriend your classmates. Increase your social circle. With the way that things are going right now and everybody working from home, going to school from home, our circles are naturally shrinking. Our tribes are shrinking. We need to take every opportunity that we have to keep our social circles open. And we can't do that by staying hidden underneath the bridge and being a troll. You have to actually get out there. You have to share a little bit of yourself. And I think it'll do everyone some good if they just take the step to be social as much as they can. Third goal would be to talk to your teachers more. I know, again, it's very difficult right now with people being remote, but you're doing yourself a disservice if you're going to college or you're going to school and you're only focusing on the assignments they're giving you. Yes, that is a great deal of the education you can receive, but it's not the only education you can receive. Talk to them. See if maybe there's more information. If you find a subject interesting, having a conversation with your teacher can bring up something that they didn't have in the lesson plan, and you can get one of those hidden little gems of knowledge that otherwise would have just gone unfound. So talk to your teachers. Try to use every opportunity to get knowledge that you can while you can. Because years from now, you'll be like, I really wonder what Mr. So-and-so would have thought about this. And your opportunity is gone. And then we move into personal goals. And these, I think, can be fun. And it's important to set them just as much as it is for career goals and student goals. But your personal goals are important too. You can't develop as a human being unless you have a plan in place. You don't want to be that slug, that unmoving rock that just doesn't do anything. It helps you to set your own personal goals. So one of the goals I think is a really great idea that everyone should do is to learn a new skill. Something not necessarily related to your job, but just some kind of new skill. There's all kinds of online classes you can take. There's YouTube videos for everything out there. Just try something new. Expand your horizons. And if you're at home, what else have you got to lose? I mean, just try it. Number 2, fulfill a lifelong dream. This is going to be a long year. I already told you there's 11 months. I'm sure that they've got a lot of stuff that's on that bucket list that if you put your mind to it, you'll be able to do at least one of those things. Setting up a goal to complete one of those things you've always wanted to do is going to give you so much pleasure leading up to it, thinking about it, talking about it with your friends and loved ones. Now, I must stress, if you're having a lifelong dream and you're planning for it, please make sure it's something that's productive and not dangerous and not illegal. Just try it for the sake of my show and me and my well-being. Yes, this is all about me right now. Don't go do something stupid and say, but Tim told me to do it, because I can't handle that on my conscience. But anyway, try something new. Fulfill a dream. And the last one in the personal goals arena, it's kind of important. I mean, I'm going to do my best at this one myself. Improve communication with your family. Now, I'm not talking about the people you see every day. I mean, yes, improve the relationship and the communication with them too. But I'm talking about the cousins, the aunts, the uncles that you don't see all the time. Reach out to them. Send them a letter. A letter is amazing. A good friend of mine, Katie, she likes to send out letters to her family and has started, because it's another way to reach out to people. Really sending them just a little letter. It doesn't have to be a long written novel, but just something that when they go to the mailbox, they're getting something other than a bill or other than an advertisement. I mean, it feels good. And I think that it's something that we should get back to. And I'm not saying you have to send a letter, but improve your communication. We don't want to just get together when it's a holiday or when it's a special event. And we all know that being socially distant and segregated and separated, it's starting to wear on us. So pick up the phone, call them. If you have to, send a text message, but improve your communication with your family. And I know that I have some family members that are watching this. The show does not count as communication. I mean, I appreciate you watching, but that doesn't count, so you pick up the phone too. But those are some of my ideas and some of my recommendations for goals that I think is a good idea to set for the year. We can make it. I know we can. But we're not going to do it if we just go to work, do our job, keep our head down. It's going to get boring. There's going to be a lot more work from home. There's going to be this new way of life. It's going to be a little difficult and hard to get used to. So, square your shoulders, take a deep breath. We can do it. But of course, I could be wrong. I've said this before. I don't have all the answers. Thank you very much for watching, listening, joining, and I hope that you have a wonderful week. Thank you.
The boy is off Broadway.